Chosen ones, you've waited long enough, and now the hour has come for you to witness what you've prayed for, believed for, and held on to in faith for so long. This moment is not an accident. It is no mere coincidence that you are here, hearing these words. You have been guided, led, and positioned by a divine hand that knows exactly what you need and when you need it. Today I want you to let every doubt, every fear, and every limitation fall away. Open your heart to receive what has been promised, because the gates of abundance are swinging wide open and it is raining money in your life. Perhaps you have felt overlooked or passed by, watching others soar while you remained grounded, wondering when your season would finally arrive. You have watched doors close in front of you, opportunities slip through your fingers, and resources evaporate before they ever truly landed in your hands. Yet through it all, there was a persistent voice inside you that kept whispering, "Hold on, just a little longer." That voice was not your imagination. It was the divine echo of God's promise, reminding you that delay is never denial, that every setback was merely a setup for this glorious moment of release. Think of how the rain comes after a season of dryness. The clouds gather, the winds shift, and suddenly the heavens open, pouring out life-giving water. In the same way, what you have been longing for is about to descend in such a powerful flood that you will have no choice but to stand in awe. It's a downpour of miracles, a shower of financial blessing, an overflow of favor that will catch you off guard in the most wonderful way. If you are ready for that, if you can feel the stirring in your spirit, I dare you to type 777 in the comments right now, declaring to the universe and to heaven itself that you are prepared to receive this supernatural rain. Remember the story in 1 Kings 18:41-46, when the prophet Elijah told King Ahab that heavy rain was coming after a long and desperate drought. At first there was nothing but a cloud the size of a man's hand. It seemed insignificant, impossible even, that such a tiny cloud would signal a mighty storm. But Elijah had faith. He knew that once God declares a blessing, no force on earth can stop it. Sure enough, the skies blackened, the winds roared, and a tremendous rain fell upon the land, ending the drought and restoring life. That is the kind of outpouring that is heading your way. The season of dryness is ending. The season of fruitfulness, wealth, and opportunity is upon you. You may be wondering how and why this is happening now. You might question whether you are worthy, whether you have done enough or prayed enough. But let me tell you, this rain is not about your worthiness. It is about divine grace. It is about a loving Creator who sees your heart, your perseverance, and your genuine desire to grow. You have been faithful with the little. You have sown seeds in tears. Now you will reap in joy. What once felt like an endless uphill battle will soon turn into a sudden acceleration of progress you never thought possible. Where others have said no, the Lord is declaring yes. Where others have closed the door, God is swinging it wide open. Chosen ones, you've waited long enough. The time has come for you to rise above every doubt, every naysayer, every negative word spoken against you. This rain will saturate every dry place in your life, your finances, your dreams, your relationships, and even your self-humanity. Let the water of abundance wash away every memory of lack and limitation. Let it cleanse you of the burden of constant worrying over bills, debts, and how you will meet your obligations. Those days of barely making it are on their way out. A new chapter is being written for you, a chapter of bountiful harvest and overflowing provision. Some people might tell you it's unrealistic, that prosperity is just a fantasy or a product of wishful thinking. But the Word says differently. And my God shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:19. That promise was not given for you to read and doubt. It was given for you to read and believe. If you hold on to that promise, if you stand on that unshakable foundation, you will see how everything in your life aligns. Opportunities will open, resources will be released, and people will come into your world ready to collaborate, invest, and help you move forward. Your faith is the key. Your expectancy is the open door. Today, I want to encourage you to put every doubt on the altar of faith. Your waiting has not been in vain. Every tear you cried, every disappointment you faced, every closed door that made you feel like giving up, those were the very moments God used to shape your character and prepare you for this new dimension. Had your blessing come earlier, you might not have been ready to handle it. But now you have grown, you have learned, and you stand as a living testimony that perseverance and faith unlock unimaginable breakthroughs. The very trials that once weighed you down have equipped you with wisdom, maturity, and strength. Picture yourself standing in a wide-open field, arms stretched toward the sky. Suddenly the clouds open and it starts raining. Not just droplets, but a torrent so heavy you can feel the wind shift around you. In the same way, your financial life is about to be drenched. Money will come from sources you never thought possible. Debts that seemed insurmountable will vanish as new streams of income appear. You will go from just getting by to having more than enough, so that you can bless others freely. No more counting coins to pay the next bill. No more tossing and turning at night, wondering how you'll cover expenses. This is the season where you will be able to give generously, invest confidently, and live without the chains of financial worry. Yet, do not forget why you have been chosen to receive this blessing. It is not just for your comfort or material gain. God wants to elevate you so that you can become a beacon of hope for others. He wants to use your life as proof that even in a world full of chaos and scarcity mindsets, His children can flourish, grow, and prosper. You become a living example of divine provision, inspiring those around you to believe in greater possibilities. People will ask how you moved from a season of drought into a season of downpour, and you will simply smile and say, "Grace found me, faith brought me here." If you are feeling the surge of faith right now, if your spirit is telling you this is not just another random message, I invite you once again to type 777 in the comments. Make that declaration of alignment with heaven's economy. Speak it, believe it, and watch how doors begin to open. Expect that any lingering sense of unworthiness or shame will be washed away. You are no longer defined by past failures, by past errors, or by any human judgment. Your identity is rooted in a higher calling, one that has named you blessed, favored, and chosen. Like the widow in 2 Kings 4, who only had a little bit of oil, you might have felt like your resources were too small to accomplish much. But the moment she aligned with the prophetic instruction, her little became more than enough. She poured and poured until every vessel was filled and there was still oil left. In the same way, your current resources, whether large or small, are about to multiply as you submit your plans to divine direction. The limitations you once saw will be shattered by the unstoppable flow of supernatural provision. Your ordinary will become extraordinary, and your emptiness will turn into overflow. Hold your head high. This is the beginning of the rest of your life, a life marked by unexpected blessings and unstoppable growth. You are the lender, not the borrower. You are the head, not the tail. You are above, not beneath. Even if your physical eyes don't yet see the money raining down, let your spiritual eyes lock onto the promise. The word "yet" is crucial. You may not see it yet, but it is coming, swiftly. Just as Elijah's servant had to check the sky multiple times before finally spotting that small cloud, you must keep checking in faith. Keep your hopes high, because once that cloud appears, it will pour out so heavily that your celebration will drown out every former sorrow. Look around you. See how the climate of your life is shifting. The wind is turning in your favor. Situations and circumstances that seemed fixed are now starting to move. People who once overlooked you are suddenly interested in your gifts, your ideas, your business, or your talents. Calls and messages you never expected are coming in, all pointing to one undeniable truth. Your season has changed. Can you feel it in the air? Can you sense the undercurrent of excitement in your spirit? This is not the time to hesitate or second guess. This is your time to step forward boldly, claiming what has already been written for you. Sometimes we hold back because we fear being let down again. We have hoped before and been disappointed, but I say to you, do not give past disappointments the power to shape your future. The rain is different this time. The timing is divine. The preparation phase is complete. In Psalm 65, verse 9 to 10, it speaks of God visiting the earth, watering it, and enriching it abundantly. Let that same enrichment fall upon your life, saturating every corner of your existence with favor, resources, and opportunities that spark joy like you've never known. You might ask, what do I do now? How do I receive this blessing? Surrender. Yes, surrender your own limited ideas of how it should happen and let the divine orchestrate the details. Release any lingering bitterness or resentment. Forgive those who have wronged you. Clear the path for this rain of abundance to flow unimpeded. Your heart must be free of clutter and negativity so that you can fully absorb every drop of this downpour. This is about more than money. It's about healing, growth, and alignment with your highest calling. Chosen ones, you've waited long enough, too long in fact. The dryness has lingered past its expiration date, and now the spiritual climate is bursting with fresh rain clouds overhead. Your waiting was not a punishment, but a preparation. God was fortifying you from the inside out, ensuring that when this financial rain arrived, you would know how to steward it well. You would recognize it as a gift from above, rather than a product of mere chance. You would be poised to use this blessing not only for your household, but also for uplifting others. Think about Noah. He built an ark before the rain came, acting in faith when the skies were still clear. Everyone around him likely called him foolish, but he pressed on because he had a word from the Lord. When the rain finally did come, Noah and his household were ready. They rose above the floodwaters while the rest of the world was caught off guard. That same spirit of preparedness dwells in you. You have built your ark of faith through every disappointment, every prayer, every tear, and every seed you've sown into the lives of others. And now that the storm of blessing is forming, you will rise above every obstacle, floating on God's provision instead of drowning in fear. This isn't just financial hype, this is a spiritual principle. When you sow in faith, you reap in joy. When you trust in the divine process, you find yourself exactly where you need to be at precisely the right time. Destiny converges with opportunity, and the windows of heaven open, pouring out more than you can contain. It's the principle that turned a few loaves and fish into a meal for thousands. It's the principle that turned a hidden shepherd boy into a king. It's the principle that transformed hopelessness into victory over and over again throughout history. That same principle is active today, and it is specifically targeting your life right now. Imagine how your existence changes once this rain truly begins to fall. Waking up each morning, not anxious about how you'll pay your bills, but excited to see what new opportunities lie ahead. Going to bed each night with peace in your heart, knowing that your family is taken care of and that there is plenty left over to invest, to give, and to expand. Picture yourself traveling freely, giving spontaneously, building the vision that has been growing in your heart for so long. That is the reality opening up for you as you embrace this outpouring. Does this resonate with your spirit? If so, don't just listen, act on it. Leave a comment with 777 sowing the seed of your faith publicly. When you do that, you're effectively planting a spiritual flag, saying, I believe in this promise, I receive it, I declare it over my life. There is power in your declaration. There is power in the unity of many believers aligning their faith in the same direction. Together, we create an atmosphere where miracles are not just possible, but inevitable. Let the naysayers talk, let the doubters doubt. Your focus is on the one who makes the impossible possible. Your focus is on the promise that if you ask, you shall receive. If you seek, you shall find. If you knock, the door shall be opened. Matthew 7, verse 7. That is the kingdom principle that overrides every earthly circumstance. Your current bank balance or job situation has zero ability to cancel out what heaven has ordained for you. The clouds are full, and once they burst, it's going to be torrential. Expect it. Anticipate it. Stand ready with open arms and a grateful heart. No matter how long the drought has been, a single moment of rain can shift everything. One phone call, one encounter, one open door, and suddenly your whole life is upgraded. That is what living in divine expectation looks like. You remain alert, thankful, and prepared for the unexpected. You understand that the seeds you've planted through patience, generosity, and prayer are about to sprout in a harvest that will even surprise you. So let your heart rejoice in what is coming. Chosen ones, you have permission to celebrate early. Throw off the sackcloth of worry and put on the garment of praise. Dance in the rain before it fully hits, because your faith is the catalyst that brings heaven's agenda into your earthly reality. Your waiting season has done its work. You have been refined, shaped, and molded into someone who can handle greatness without pride, who can steward wealth without greed, and who can love others without condition. You might feel a stirring right now, like an undercurrent in your soul that says, something is happening. Don't ignore that feeling. That is the Holy Spirit confirming the shift in your life. Align your mindset, your words, and your actions with that inner confirmation. Begin to speak abundance instead of lack, gratitude instead of hoarding. The measure you use will be measured back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over, Luke 6:38. Every choice you make today is preparing you for the imminent rain that will soak every aspect of your being. Your future is bright, and it's arriving faster than you think. Isaiah 62 verse 22 says, I, the Lord, will hasten it in its time. That hastening is upon you now. No more wondering if you missed your opportunity. No more grieving over lost years. God can restore in one moment what the locusts have eaten for years. He can return double for your trouble and promote you in the very place where you were once humiliated. This is your vindication season. This is your redemption story in the making. So how do you live in this new reality? You wake up each day with a heart brimming with thanksgiving. You lay every plan before the Lord, asking for guidance and direction. You move forward on the ideas that spark life in you, trusting that if it's God's will, it will come to fruition. And when you encounter obstacles, you remember that your circumstances are no match for divine promises. You have been appointed to walk in wealth, not just financial wealth, but wealth of spirit, wealth of relationships, wealth of influence, and wealth of purpose. With this financial rain also comes responsibility. Just like rainwater can bring a harvest, but also requires proper management to avoid floods, you must steward your blessing wisely. Ask for divine wisdom, just like Solomon did in 1 Kings 3, so that you can govern your increase with integrity. Seek out knowledge on investments, savings, and responsible spending. Let this new season be a testament of wise stewardship, so that the abundance doesn't just bless you, but also overflows into your community, your loved ones, and anyone God places on your path. This is also a call to remain humble. Prosperity has a way of revealing character. When you were in the drought, you learned patience and dependence on God. Now, in the rain, let those lessons anchor you. Remember how it felt to be in need, and let compassion guide your actions toward those still struggling. Let your testimony of overcoming be a light that others can follow out of their own darkness. That is the beauty of a chosen vessel. You are blessed to be a blessing, raised up to lift others, and enriched so you can demonstrate the lavish goodness of the one you serve. Chosen ones, let your spirits soar. The dryness is ending. The financial downpour is here. You've waited long enough, and heaven has heard every plea, every whisper, every dream you dared to voice. Now, let the wind of favor carry you into a realm where limitations break and God's possibilities unfold before you like a grand horizon. Type 777 if your heart aligns with this, if your faith is set on receiving. Even in this moment, I sense a spiritual shift happening for many of you. It's as if a heavy weight is lifting, replaced by a lightness, a divine confirmation that you are indeed stepping into your season of rain. No matter what the world says about scarcity or recessions, you belong to a different kingdom, one that operates on faith and divine provision. That means you can prosper in the midst of what looks like lack to everyone else. You can find water in the desert, see streams in the wilderness, and gather blessings where others find none. The dryness in your life was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to awaken a deeper hunger for the supernatural outpouring that is now upon you. Today, I want you to seal this revelation in your heart. Say to yourself, I receive the rain. I am ready for the overflow. I am prepared for the blessings I have longed for. Speak it out loud if you can. There's power in the spoken word. Life and death are in the power of the tongue, Proverbs 18:21. Use your tongue to speak life, wealth, progress, and victory over yourself. Watch as those words materialize into open doors, divine connections, and miraculous turnarounds in your finances and beyond. See, the language of heaven is faith. Without faith, it's impossible to please God, Hebrews 11:6. But with faith, all things become possible, Mark 9:23. Faith is what transforms a barren field into a lush garden. Faith is what causes rain to appear in a land that has seen none for years. Faith is the currency of miracles, and it's the fuel behind every manifestation you're about to experience. So, fan the flame of your faith. Guard it with all diligence, because it's the most valuable asset you possess. If you have moments of doubt, remember that God has already proven His faithfulness countless times in your past. He has carried you through storms that tried to break you, lifted you when you were at your lowest, and provided for you when you had nothing left. This same God is preparing a table before you in the presence of your enemies. Psalm 23:5. Your cup overflows, literally and figuratively. Not only will you have enough, you will have more than enough, to the point that your blessings spill over to those around you. You've been faithful with little, and now you're being entrusted with much. That's the unchanging principle in Luke 16:10. Every time you felt overlooked or undervalued, heaven was recording your faithfulness. Every time you gave out of your own need, heaven was multiplying your seeds. Now watch as those seeds produce a harvest so bountiful you'll need extra hands to help gather it. Stand in awe of the reality that the waiting, the praying, and the persevering were all part of a grander design. Chosen ones, your heart is beating with new life right now. Can you feel that stirring within? That's the sound of chains breaking, the sound of old mindsets crumbling, the sound of heaven releasing favor that's been stored up with your name on it. Don't let it pass by. Claim it, embrace it, walk boldly into it. You have permission to dream bigger, to expect more, and to prepare for an unimaginable influx of financial grace. Picture your greatest hopes being fulfilled in faster, more astonishing ways than you dared to think possible. Picture your loved ones being inspired by your testimony, realizing that if it happened for you, it can happen for them too. Picture yourself standing in the midst of the rain, arms wide open, not running for shelter but rejoicing in every drop that hits you. This is your new normal. Standing in the midst of divine favor, absolutely drenched in blessing. If you can see that in your mind's eye, then you are already halfway there. When faith meets vision, manifestation is inevitable. Let that vision empower you to take the necessary steps in the physical realm, whether that's starting a new project, applying for that dream opportunity, or reaching out to someone you feel led to collaborate with. Do it with confidence, knowing that success isn't just an option anymore, it's a promise. Has your spirit leapt at any point during these words? That leap is a sign that your breakthrough is close. Keep feeding that faith. Surround yourself with people who champion your dreams, who talk about solutions instead of problems, who celebrate your growth instead of envy it. Weed out any negative influences that chip away at your belief in this overflow. Stand firm in the truth that you have been earmarked for abundance. Let the affirmation, "I am chosen for overflow," become your daily confession. Yes, you've waited long enough, endured enough, and hoped enough. Now it's raining money, raining grace, raining favor. This is your time to rise, shine, and show the world what it looks like when a child of the Most High steps into their promised land. Refuse to be intimidated by the magnitude of this blessing. Instead, let your confidence rest in the fact that God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies, and you, my friend, have indeed been called. Keep going, keep believing, keep preparing, because once this rain starts, there's no going back to the old ways. Your life is marked, your destiny sealed, and your path illuminated. What God has declared, no one can reverse. What He has opened, no one can shut. Lift your eyes to the skies and watch them break open with the heavy downpour of provision. You will never be the same after this. Picture your financial desert turning into a fertile plain bursting with green shoots, each one representing a possibility for wealth and stability. Imagine gazing at your bank account and seeing numbers you once thought belonged only in other people's stories. The shift isn't just about money. It's about an upgrade in every area of your life. Mindset, relationships, even the way you view yourself. No longer will you see lack or limitation staring back at you. Instead, you will see the mirror of opportunity, reflecting a person who has been painstakingly prepared for this very breakthrough. Remember how in Joshua 3:05, the Israelites were told to consecrate themselves because the next day God would do amazing things among them. In the same spirit, you've gone through a season of purification. You've let go of old habits, old mindsets, and toxic influences. You might have felt like you were being stripped of all familiarity, but that was part of the divine process. By removing what no longer served your future, you created space for the supernatural to take root. And now, at long last, the amazing things are here. Your finances are being resurrected. Your dreams are being validated. Your God-given purpose is stepping onto the center stage of your existence. If you can sense the electricity in the atmosphere, then you already know that things are shifting. Even if everything in your immediate surroundings looks the same, trust the spirit of expectancy within you. Faith is not about what you see. It's about what you know in your heart to be true, despite the evidence of your senses. Keep that faith alive, because it's the anchor that holds you steady as the waves of abundance roll in. Let's talk for a moment about how you can practically prepare. When the rain comes, it doesn't discriminate, it simply falls. The wise person prepares containers to capture the downpour, while the unprepared watch it soak into the ground, missing its potential. Spiritually speaking, your containers are your plans, your goals, and your willingness to dream bigger. Financially, your containers might be a newly opened savings account, a business venture, an investment strategy, or even a simple willingness to learn how to manage money effectively. The point is, you can't cry out for rain if you're not ready to gather it once it falls. So clear the clutter. If there's unresolved fear or unbelief lingering in the back of your mind, now is the time to release it. If there are negative voices telling you this is all too good to be true, silence them by remembering every time in your past that the impossible happened. Remind yourself of the battles you've already won, the miracles you've already witnessed, and the prayers that were answered at just the right time. Gratitude is your greatest weapon against doubt. Start thanking God for what's coming even before you see it. That's the essence of faith. Chosen ones, you are not merely spectators in this unfolding story. You are key players. There is a divine narrative that has you in the spotlight, carrying the message of hope and abundance to a world that needs it desperately. How incredible is it to think that your financial breakthrough is more than just personal gain? It's an instrument of transformation, a signpost that points others to the reality of a supernatural God who meets not just spiritual needs, but material ones as well. Let your testimony shine like a lighthouse, guiding people lost in the storms of life. Let them see that if God can change your circumstances, He can change theirs too. This is how you multiply the blessing, by sharing it, by inspiring others to believe, and by choosing generosity over selfishness. After all, one of the quickest ways to see continuous rain in your life is to let it flow out to others, creating a cycle of giving and receiving that never runs dry. Think about Job, a man who lost practically everything: wealth, family, health, yet he never cursed God. In time, he was restored far beyond his previous status, receiving double of all he had lost. The reason? His heart remained aligned with faith, humility, and reverence. Your alignment with these same virtues positions you for the kind of restoration that leaves onlookers speechless. Imagine people who once pitied you now looking to you for advice, for insight, for wisdom on how to navigate their own financial deserts. Not because you suddenly became an expert by worldly standards, but because you experienced a supernatural turnaround that defies logic. Yes, it's raining money, but it's also raining purpose, joy, stability, and renewed confidence. All these aspects are interwoven, fueling each other to create a holistic blessing. Financial gain without emotional and spiritual health can be hollow. That's not what's happening here. This rain is a complete package, meant to elevate your entire life, giving you deeper insight into who you are and what you're meant to accomplish. And if you ever doubt the scope of this moment, recall Ephesians 3:20, which reminds us that God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that works in us. You can think big and you can ask largely, but divine power can surpass it all. It's time to expand your prayers, enlarge your vision, and prepare for a deluge of favor. If you've been praying for just enough, dare to pray for more than enough, so you can become a conduit of blessings to your family, friends, and even strangers who cross your path. Don't be shy about expecting breakthroughs. Your Heavenly Father isn't limited by lack. Heaven's resources are inexhaustible, and you, as a chosen vessel, have the privilege to access them. If at any point you feel overwhelmed by this concept, if it seems too vast or too unlikely, let that be the signal that it is indeed God-sized. Because if it were small enough for you to handle on your own, it wouldn't require faith, and it certainly wouldn't reflect the grandeur of a limitless Creator. So welcome that sense of awe. Embrace the butterflies in your stomach. They're a natural response to stepping onto the stage of the miraculous. Every raindrop carries new life. Think about the seeds you planted long ago, the times you helped someone in need without expecting anything in return, the hours you spent nurturing your gifts and talents, the prayers you prayed when no one else was watching. Those seeds didn't die. They were just waiting for this rain. As the water pours down, those seeds will burst forth from the soil, revealing a harvest that matches every act of kindness and faith you've ever sown. What was hidden underground, dormant and unseen, will now become visible fruit in your life. You might ask, when exactly will this happen? Nobody can pinpoint the exact second or the precise hour, but the spiritual signs suggest the clouds are already forming. What matters most is that you stay ready, stay hopeful, and stay receptive. The moment you see even a small indication, a phone call, a new opportunity, a sudden idea that sparks financial potential, treat it like the cloud the size of a man's hand. Don't despise small beginnings. Lean into that moment with gratitude and expectation, and watch it evolve into a flood of blessing. Keep declaring that you are chosen, that your wait is over, and that money is raining down upon you. Keep reminding yourself that this is more than self-improvement talk. This is a divine principle at work. The words you speak carry creative power. Speak them with conviction and watch how circumstances shift to accommodate what you've proclaimed in faith. Set aside time daily to visualize your life in this new realm, feeling the excitement, the relief, and the joy of watching every need met and every dream resourced. If you're ready for that level of transformation, let your faith be audible. Type 777 in the comments once again if your heart is thumping with expectation, if your spirit can't contain its excitement any longer. Your public declaration isn't for show. It's a step of faith that seals what you believe internally. Sometimes, heaven moves mightily in response to public acts of belief, and your willingness to declare, "I am ready for the rain," can be the final catalyst that shifts you from dryness to downpour. And let's not overlook the importance of stewardship. When the rain falls heavily, the wise steward channels the water where it needs to go. Pray for wisdom, like Solomon did when he became king, and be prepared to handle the abundance responsibly. Structure your finances so they're built on principle, not impulse. Design your generosity in a way that aligns with your values, ensuring the overflow touches lives that need it most. This isn't about hoarding wealth or flaunting blessings. It's about walking in alignment with a higher calling. The world already has enough greed. What it needs is a new breed of financially blessed individuals who lead with compassion and integrity.